Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. We're having some technical difficulties, Ryan.
What's happening?
I kept getting stop signs when it was saying it was sharing to Facebook and YouTube, but I think we're over there now. I think we're getting.
It's on
now,
Facebook.
So.
I just looked at it.
So. All right, good. We're where we need to be. Well, happy Monday, everybody. Hope everybody had a great Monday. It seemed like a long Monday to me. I don't know, but we got a big show tonight. Got 3 guests, 2 different topics. It's gonna be a big night. We've got first Tom. How you say Tom's last name, Ryan?
Kazmierski.
Tom Kazmierski, winner of the Tennessee Bass Nation 2022 event in 2021, of all things.
Yeah,
and
Steve's tricky like that, man. Steve likes to get you on the years and things.
And then we got Blaine Upton from Queen City, who won the biggest bass of the Power Hour that Vinny Ferreri put on, and Vinny's coming on as well to talk about the event. And also, he's going to drop some big news about something else he's got cooking for 2022, another national circuit. So we're going to talk about
national,
that.
I can't wait to get into that, man. I am chomping at the bit.
Yeah. So big stuff. But before we do that, we always like to talk about things that happened over the last week or the last weekend. And I think we're going to get into that too. But we were doing a giveaway. Did I say something on the page about a giveaway? Revo stuff. We're going to give away some Revo swag.
Yes, that's a fact.
Like and share the stream. Like and share our page, and get over and like Revo's page, and we'll give away a pack of hat, T-shirt, some other stuff that we have, for sure. But yeah, what went on this week, Ryan? What would you talk about? I guess there was a lot of reaction to our interview last week with the Bass Nation Kayak Series admin guys, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was some fires left burning there. Honestly, I think that interview probably hurt their stock more than helped their stock. I didn't really get the vibe like they cared too much about what the kayak world is like. You know, we just need to fish on the bank and stay out of the boat's way and have our kayaks up there till the sun's high in the sky and not be out there with our little lights and our little boats getting in the way. But I don't know. I mean, overall, I think it's either gonna have to improve and that mindset is gonna have to change, or it's gonna go away. I think those are the 2 things that are gonna happen there. They're not gonna see a good enough return. You know, they're a for-profit business. If they're not seeing a return, then I think it's gonna go like the dodo bird there.
I tell you what, man, something that's gonna prop it up is the state nations. I mean, think about
it. It depends what state you're in.
Yeah, I'll say depending where you're at. Like Tennessee, they're doing it up big time. California looks to be doing their thing big time out there. There's some other states doing it too, but I wonder what the disconnect is, where I think Bass could really lean on some of these guys that are doing it right in their states to make sure that everything's right.
I mean, to be honest, I think it's because the people that are running the state stuff actually care that it's successful. Like Steve-O wants anything Steve-O touches, he wants it to be as big as possible. You know, so he drives the growth. He's super engaged. He promotes the hell out of these events. They screwed up by not signing Steve to a contract to run Bass from the beginning. That was mistake number one. But even on the West Coast, Tim Arthur, while I hate to read any comment that he posts ever, he cares about the trail growing. So he's constantly pumping it, and that's what it takes to make this stuff grow. Texas kept theirs a secret, and I just saw the results from their Texas Bass Nation championship. It had 22 people in it. Oh. So that's pretty on par with the rest of bass. So
yeah,
can't fix that part.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, everybody wants them to succeed, I believe, or most people do. We just hope they take some feedback that we've tried to give them and that the community's given them and take this thing up to the next level. So we'll see.
Yeah, boy.
What else went down this week? Oh, I wanted to comment on that video you released today, man. That was legit.
Thank you, sir.
A lot of good feedback on that, and I don't know who's watched that or not. Get over to Ryan's YouTube and check that out. I think he shared it on Facebook too. But man, that was some good content. What prompted you to do that? You just wanted to extend the olive branch and help everybody out?
I mean, like I said, like seeing, we've seen it for a while. Like if you look at the top 10 kayak anglers year after year, there's only like 2, maybe, that are putting out any content. I mean, minuscule. Like there's so much room for improvement. Like these guys are missing out on so much opportunity by not engaging with people and not putting out consistent content, not even trying a little bit. I mean, I think in this sport, we kind of need a wake-up call. Like everybody talks about how, these pro staffs or whatever just handing out 15% discounts, 20% discounts. There's a lot of people that don't even work for that. I mean, much less money, but when Mark and Jordan accomplish these, as far as kayak fishing career goes, these milestones, and they're not really met with a lot more opportunity. I saw Mark got on with Pure, and I know he had that conversation with him at ICAST. Congratulations, Mark. That's awesome. But, there's a lot of opportunity for growth there, and if guys want it, you have to work for it. You have to, hustle and grind. And I mean, Christine's a great example. Obviously she's a successful female angler in our sport, but she works all the time. She's constantly, fresh content, photos, video edits, tournament recaps, the whole 9 yards. That's what it takes. That's why she's getting big checks and other people are getting discount cards.
Amen.
There.
I mean, I've tried to piddle with content for a long time myself, and I watched the video and learned a ton. So just some tricks that I didn't even think about, and I've been trying to mess with this for several years. So appreciate you doing it, man. That was good stuff.
I hope I helped you, Jeff.
Yes. And before we get Tom in here, there's a couple of sponsor announcements we need to make. Of course, we want to thank Dugout Bait and Tackle and Western Sun, always supporting the show. We're giving away the Revo stuff, but Steve wanted me to mention Dugout's demo boats are up for sale.
Oh.
At and they have some 360s and some 180s available. And to get your hands on those, contact Steve or Nick directly, Nick McBride or Steve Owens directly, and they will fix you up on a demo boat. So there you go.
You can contact me directly. I'll fix you up with a demo boat. I'll even autograph it.
There you go.
For what that's worth.
There you go. We'll break a bottle over the bow. But yeah, not much else went down this weekend, man, that I can remember. You want to go ahead and get Tom in here? We got a big show. We got 3 guests.
Let's do it.
And a lot to go over.
Burn it.
Let's get him in here. Hang on just a second. Let me change things around, and we'll get him in here. Like I said, everybody, we're running a little like and share contest, so make sure you get that going and give the stream a share. There we go. All right. Hey, Tom, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to KBN Live.
Thanks, guys. What's going on?
Yeah.
We're hanging in there, buddy. How are you?
Normal day back at work after traveling all weekend.
Dang. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
Like we were talking about.
I'm sorry. I just got a hilarious message.
You getting blown up over there?
Christine, we're doing a podcast right now, so we're going to have to be hilarious later. So she's got the fires burning, of course, as always. Tom, congratulations on your big win. I don't know how you did it, to be honest.
Well, I had to beat Adam Reiser, the myth, the man, the myth, the legend on Dale Hollow. So it felt good to pull that off this year.
Y'all had better weather this year than last year, correct?
I guess it depends. If you're a fair weather fisherman, sure.
Well, it wasn't miserable, I think.
I wish it was. I wish the water and I mean the air temps were great, but I definitely wish the water was colder. But group those fish up a little more. But I think everybody would have had a little better experience there if it would have been a few degrees cooler. But it is what it is when you show up. Gotta catch them.
What did you do? So I talked to a guy. He messaged me earlier. Apparently, you guys launched together and had a pretty similar experience as far as your fish were gone. Like caught a couple fish or had a couple bites, and then the fish were pretty much scattered after that.
They did. It was really weird. The morning was like a flurry. I had a limit at 7:10 in the morning. I was actually going to go throw a float and fly. I'm one of the guys that loves to throw that bobber up there on Del Hollow. But I was going to throw it, and I scanned a rock pile on the way down. I was like, man, I got to go check it real quick. And I checked it, and there was just tons of fish on it. And I was like, sling up there and see what happens. And I caught a 14, and I was like, maybe I'll get a limit, and I can go fish with more confidence. And next cast was an 18, and then 17 and a half. And I was like, maybe I'll stay here and finish this out. So I sat there, and I don't know, I caught 6 or 7 off of it fairly quickly. And I ended up just abandoning the float and fly because it's more of a low light deal. And basically stayed on flats all day. I think one of the biggest things about Del Hollow, especially if you've never seen it before, is you've been there, Ryan. When you show up, everything just looks like fishy. You're like, oh my gosh, this lake looks amazing. And they live in certain areas. They're not just on every rock that you see because they're everywhere. So that's the key for me is finding just small little places that maybe the average person's overlooking, especially when we had a bunch of bass boats on the lake. I think there were 3 bass boat tournaments going on at the same time. So
I saw Andy Middleton's post. He said he's like, I swear 30 bass boats have gone by me. I don't know how many are in this tournament, but not too many more can pass me at this point.
Yeah, and that's not even a big tournament on that lake. That's I think it was the Billy Westmoreland, which is a smallmouth only, invitational only. But it did come out of Horse Creek. And that's some great fishermen in that tournament, obviously. But there was one up at Lilydale, and I think one out of Star Creek also. So they kind of, I guess on our, after kickoff, it wasn't probably 10, 15 minutes till, we were surrounded by glitter boats, as everybody calls them.
And you came from the glitter boat world, Tom. Tell some folks kind of how you started out fishing, and especially in kind of the Atlanta area, you got to fish some tournaments that Jamie put on, and even fish with the legend Carter Koza himself some.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm junior there. I grew up out of a boat, prior to pond fishing in my younger years. But, here in northern Atlanta, there's a real big trail on Altoona Lake. And I know everybody calls it the Dead Sea, but we have Monday nights. We used to draw, 110, 115 boats on every Monday night. We fish 7 to 11 all summer long. And it's the best of the best. And, there's no better way to learn than going out with those guys. I got to fish with some real great fishermen over that time. I fished with Orlando Wilson a few times back then. He was a local to our area. And, Jamie Koza, Ted Gambrell, the Thurmans, golly, there's some hammers on that lake that it's funny. You put them on any lake and they'll catch fish. Guys that know how to take a really tough body of water and, hone in on what's going on and, find the best fish on that body of water biting. But that's pretty much where I cut my teeth. And then we used to have some big bass boat trails here, HD Marine. We have BFLs and stuff like that. I've never got into the draw tournaments because I either like fishing with somebody I like and know, or I'd just rather not do it. I'm about having fun. So, but that's kind of where I got started. I did real well in the boat world. Got busy with kids and sports and sold my boat, and the Dugout took on kayaks, and Jamie's like, man, you need to give this a try. And I'm like, I'm game for anything. Let's see what this is all about. And actually just really enjoy it. I kind of like the peace and tranquility of fishing out of a kayak. I like it that, sometimes we launch as groups and we kind of buddy up. But also like just being out there by yourself, just taking it all in. I mean, I've seen some stuff in a kayak that I'm pretty sure, I was doing 75 miles an hour past in a boat. So it's a different world, but it's a lot of fun. You definitely got to learn how to manage your time and your areas better. Obviously, when you're in a boat, you have the whole body of water that you can tackle. But in a kayak, it's I give these guys a lot of credit to get out there and kill it all the time. It's difficult. It's hard to do.
Let's talk about some of your fish, man. I mean, everybody from the north thinks they're the only place that has smallmouth, but Ryan's always beating that drum about those Tennessee smallies.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a picture of one of yours right here. Let me throw it up. I mean, that's a thick, strong-looking smallmouth that would probably pull as hard as any smallmouth you'll catch anywhere. Tell us about that fish and that catch in particular, man.
Yeah, that catch has a little bit of heartbreak in it. So just before that fish, I jumped one off that I'm pretty sure was an over, which in all my time on Del Hollow, I've probably caught maybe 6 or 7 overs.
So explain to people what the slide is on Del Hollow for the guys.
Yeah, so an over is over 21 inches. It is a true hammer stud of a smallmouth. I mean, they're massive. The bites are hard to get to begin with, and then landing them, obviously, I think everybody in this tournament experienced it. They almost have like rubber mouths, and if you're fishing deep, you really gotta lay the lead to them, man. You gotta stick them. The bite's easy because they knock 10 feet of slack in your line when they hit it. They kill it. But I've seen it in rivers with spotted bass before. We have a ton of them here. They eat a lure so good, so hard that, they lock their mouth down on it. You set the hook as hard as you can, and that lead and that jig or worm or whatever hits those lips, and you never get a hook stuck in them. I've seen it over in Alabama a bunch, and had some tough days over there with that happening to me. But they basically, they'll pull and bulldog on you for a second, and the next thing you know, they're over your head in a kayak, jumping. And as soon as they open their mouth, the jig just falls out, and you're like, oh, crap. But there's a big stump that probably about twice the size of my kayak. I don't know. It's like a petrified stump that I've caught a ton of fish off of over the years. And I threw up there and had that one on, and then frustrated and everything else, I throw back up there and I catch that 20. So I was blessed to have that, but I'm sitting there looking at my inches and thinking of last year, and I'm like, that's going to hurt me. So luckily it worked out. But, even in practice, I'll tell you, Del Hollow, man, what a lake. There are so many 17 to 20 inch smallmouth in that lake. It's not even funny. I've had days out there of 60 and 70 smallmouth.
Don't say that to the guys that didn't catch limits. You're gonna upset some people.
Yeah, not in this tournament. Guys. So,
they left for this one.
I was, I was catching probably 20 to 25 a day. And I went and got on a largemouth bite one day. I'm not a big fan of going up there catching largemouth just because I rarely get to go, smallmouth fishing. I'm in Georgia. We don't have them really. The lakes that we had them, the spots took over. But So when I go up there, I primarily target them, and just knowing the history of that lake and how many 20-inch smallmouth live in there, I mean, I'll take my chances with trying to catch 100 inches of smallmouth because, I mean, there's buckets of them. You got to fish around. You got to find secluded structure, stuff that's off the beaten path a little bit. I fish flats. Everybody talks about, you're out there on those flats. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm out there on a flat, but I'm throwing at a little 10-yard patch of rock. I'm not just fishing a big, massive flat all day. So I do my homework. I got up there Thursday and went and looked around. Thursday, I actually threw a floating fly. I didn't post any of those pictures, but I had some 20 and a half, 20 and 3/4, 20 and a quarter on a floating fly Thursday. But throwing a floating fly in a kayak is a goat roping. Man.
Do you use Jamie Coe's minnows by chance? I'm seeing a connection here, Tom.
Yeah, it's the green night crawlers. That's the trick. We got to get the green ones. Throwing a floating fly is an amazing technique. Anybody that had never done it, I recommend you even trying it on your home water. I've done it on Chickamauga, and I've caught some hammers on that lake doing it in cold temps. We do it a lot in Georgia now. There's a lot of guys here that kind of took on the pattern and win tournaments on it. We used to use 9 and 10 foot rods, and then most of the guys here, when we started kicking their tails, they made the rule that we're not allowed to have over an 8-foot rod in the boat. The bass rules. So
funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, but,
you're doing good. We got to make a rule.
That's right. Yeah, you've won enough. So, most of my fish in the tournament came on a jig and a Kitech. I threw both a lot. The Kitech definitely was an earlier bite. You could get a lot of bites quick. The jig, you really got to keep it in the structure, on the structure, dragging it around pretty much. I caught a lot of fish on a jig too. But my flurry that morning was, kind of set the stage of having confidence of being able to slow down and really work some areas where I knew the big ones were kind of hanging out at. One of the big things I see in this tournament, and me and some of the guys I stayed with, some of the Dugout guys, we all stayed together, Andy Middleton, Jason Alford, and Josh Little. Coming from the boater world, I've seen tournaments take off like this. Tournament trails take off and have a great following. And Ryan, you hit the nail on the head. It's guys like Steve-O that make that happen. We had some great trails here in the boater world in Georgia back in the day. And it was all about the leadership, the directors that were running that tournament. And, we had 97 anglers. I went to the check-in. And all these people love Steve-O and Daniel and, all the guys that are helping out. And that's what keeps those numbers up. That's what keeps people coming back. When you see a tournament ran so well, and all the sponsors, you got Seagar Line, handing out, I don't know how many packs of line. NetBait had a box of worms. I actually wished I was going to win one. They had the NTH, the little series that I really, really love. Didn't win any of those, but and then you got Newport Vessels, Dakota Lithium, Ag Pro, Carl Black. Sponsors like getting sponsors like this to where every angler that shows up, they get something back. I've seen the success in the boat world of trails that did this, and man, it'll just keep growing. And it's amazing the opportunity that these guys, that this trail presents right now. I think there's a lot of buzz about, the Tennessee Bass Nation and the Georgia schedule.
That Georgia schedule looks legit.
It is.
I hate everything about Georgia, but that schedule looks great.
Thanks.
What are your thoughts on Stetson Bennett, Ryan?
Hot garbage, son. That's fine.
It's funny though. I was looking at that Georgia schedule, and every one of those tournaments. I don't care how much you know about a lake or don't know, or how good you are on that lake. The times they're hitting those lakes in Georgia, and I don't know as much about Tennessee, but I love the lakes that I see, and I'm going to try to fish more of them. I just love going to Tennessee and fishing. I mean, you guys have a great fishery up there. Period. Other than Chick, Ryan, there's more like
honestly, you can have Chick, to be honest. I'm fine without it.
But they are hitting like Lanier, Eufaula, Clark Hill, and they're hitting these lakes
Seminole.
When these guys are going to catch. Everybody's going to catch fish. There's going to be tons of fish caught, and it's going to be anybody's game to win those tournaments. And to me, that's, I mean, I love tough conditions. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of the guys that I want it so tough that, everybody's struggling. And then, I just try to struggle through that. Maybe that's why I'm a wintertime fisherman. A lot of people struggle in the winter. I love winter. I mean, it's my favorite deal. But, looking at that schedule in Georgia and then the one in Tennessee, and then like in Georgia, there's some other clubs that have partnered in there. So it's going to grow that trail even bigger. Man, I just think there's such big things to come. And I don't know. I'm thankful for Steve and Daniel doing what they do, because let me tell you something, that is a thankless job.
Amen. Amen to that.
I mean, man, I've never heard a guy say, I want to be a tournament director when I grow up,
Yeah.
Steve-O freaking loves it. He can't get enough tournaments to run. Every time I turn around, he's got there's another, and it's not been announced yet, but we'll have him on when it is. He's got another big tournament to announce. But Steve-O he's like a magnet. They run to him.
Yeah.
But he does a great job, and he cares. And, that keeps him occupied, keeps his gears turning.
All those things are the keys to success in the tournament. I mean, it'll be I'm looking forward to it all. I want to go to Center Hill. I've never been there before.
Center Hill's if you like Del Hollow, you'll like Center Hill. Center Hill is a deep, clear water, highland reservoir, bluff walls, a lot of smallmouth, and a lot of spots. It's a fun lake to fish for sure.
I can pass on the spots. We got plenty of those here.
Hey, there's some nice ones. They like to eat things that are on top of the water too. That's they put on a pretty good show first thing in the morning.
Oh, there you go. Well, that sounds like fun. So
got a couple more things for you. Blaine and Vinny, I see you in the waiting room. Don't worry, we hadn't forgot about y'all. I see you in there.
I canceled Vinny. I called Vinny off tonight.
Number one is there's like 4 comments saying you look like Edwin Evers. Have you heard that before, Tom?
No, I haven't heard that before. I got told I've been told I look like Tom Glavine a bunch.
Tom Glavine. Okay. Going back a little bit.
I thought they meant Edwin Minor. I was like, dang, that's rough.
That's what I thought at first. I'm like, what am I not getting here? And then someone threw the Evers in there. On top
I know. I saw that. I was like, Edwin didn't even catch a limit up there. Don't compare Tom and Edwin.
Edwin's got uncombed hair and a terrible mustache. He didn't look anything like this.
Well, if I could have Edwin's stats in Hobie, I would take that compliment.
Hey, rookie season's over. Edwin's back to mortal now.
Sophomore slump coming up.
You got to get him while you can, man. When you're hot, hit them all.
Yeah, man. Then the other thing I was going to ask you said you came from the boat side. So here's the picture of the weigh in and the big check and all that. Coming from that side, and I know you've been around kayaks a little bit now. How does the ROI stack up? I mean, I know you don't win $100,000 at a kayak tournament necessarily, but to go to a state Bass Nation event and pull $2,500 for a pretty mediocre entry fee, what do you think about the ROI on these events?
That entry fee is tiny. And not to make that seem little, but so in the boater world, most of our pot tournaments, to win those kind of checks, you were hitting a $250 entry fee. Now, back in the glory days before the recession, all that, like HD Marine, I won a boat in HD Marine. I won a boat in English Choice. But we were at $300 entry fees. and you were fishing against, 200 sticks. I mean, there were 50 guys in that field that fully expected to win that morning. It was a lot of things going your way to make it work out. But even the pod tournaments, like if you, I guess something that that the tournament this past weekend could be compared to would be like a BFL, right? So a BFL entry fees, a couple $100, and I think top prize is maybe $5,000. But you're also going to fish against 150 to 200 guys. You're going to have a guy in the back of your boat that probably doesn't know what in the world he's doing, and frustrates you all day. I don't fish those. That's, for a $70 investment to have an opportunity to win, $1,000 in the boat world is a big deal. Like Monday nights, I think, our entry fees were like $70, and 4-hour pot tournament, you were fishing against 60, 70 guys that could all win at any moment, and you'd walk away with $1,200, $1,500. And big bass would be, however many guys got in the pot, win a mandatory pot, but you'd probably win another $500, $600 in big bass if you won it. So if you look at the ROI on this tournament, pretty much, it's amazing. I mean, I didn't burn $100 worth of gas, on a 300 motor sitting on the back of my boat.
Right.
The expenses are minimal compared to the, what you can win in the kayak thing. And looking at, all the kayak tournaments I fished, Dugout has their online series right now going on. It's a $30 entry fee. If you do well, you get to qualify for a championship, where last year they gave away, you won a kayak. I think every angler in the championship got probably a $200 to $225 rod. And then every week they do drawings to where guys are getting $15, $20 gift packs. Everything I'm seeing in kayak world, man, it's a huge blessing to all the anglers, is to, just having an opportunity to get something back, right? And when you win big. But even if you don't win, third place, that's a lot of money for a $70 entry fee to me.
Yeah, big time.
It's big. Obviously, they had 97 anglers, so that grew that pot big.
I can attest to the online thing because I've entered it a couple times just to support the cause, even though I had no chance, and I've won something 3 different times. So I've gotten some Spro stuff, some fish head stuff, and then fish head stuff again. So good stuff. Yeah.
And you look at the Bass Nation in Tennessee. I think I want to say like the Dugout donated 4 SLX rods. So there's 4 guys that won Shimano SLX rods. I think that's, I don't even know what those cost, but a couple $100, maybe $150. I don't know. There was a lot of stuff won for, I've seen people pay that much for a raffle ticket,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's definitely worth showing up for, just to have your name in the hat for the prizes.
Right. To me, it's a great thing. And then, you got to look at the big picture too. I think most of these guys are looking at fishing this trail as a whole. So, you got a championship. There's going to be you start drawing 97 kayaks to each one of these tournaments. That championship pot's going to get huge. And then you look at, Newport Vessels, they're giving away a motor at the championship. I think Dakota's, it may be a package with, a Dakota lithium battery and the Newport Vessel. So,
yeah, I think it's the whole kit there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was about to say, and that's what I'm running on my kayak now, and that motor is amazing. I love that motor.
You don't get any crazy error codes. You don't have to spray it with WD-40 and flip it upside down or anything.
I'm supposed to say that stuff, man. I've already been blasted.
Oh shit! Sorry, you didn't, Tom. I said it.
I don't carry WD-40 in my boat anymore. But yeah, and Hog Farmer, I see that up there now. Man, they gave away a ton of packages too. All the sponsors, man. I think Carl Black's putting in like $1,000 for the year for, to to be split out differently throughout the tournament.
I heard Carl Black gave Steve-O a truck. I heard that was their sponsorship, is they gave Steve a truck to drive.
Leave it to you, Ryan, to start shit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for, pal.
Yeah. Steve just sent me these pics, so I wanted to slide them in there before we. Yeah, Steve's always on it.
You know, and that's a great thing there. So if you look at that 10th place, there's not a lot of tournaments that pay down that far in the boater world. But I mean, you technically got your money back if you were in the top 10.
It's a good return, and congrats to Daniel Davis. Like, Daniel's been, part of our local club and helped us out in cast. Daniel keeps the entire Tennessee State organization on a chalk line. He is meticulous on details, and he is running the Tennessee Bass Nation portion this year. So Steve-O's actually over the Georgia Bass Nation. Daniel is running the Tennessee Bass Nation. So congrats, Daniel, on your first big one, buddy.
Every angler there has a lot of love for those guys. The integrity that they carry around with these anglers. I mean, it's like you said, Ryan, man. BASS, you missed the mark. You should have signed these guys up.
Yeah, they should.
And who knows?
Nobody wants to listen, Tom. Nobody wants to listen.
Nobody wants to listen.
Man. When you see people that they walk into a room and, everybody there has no qualms with them, likes them, you can just – it just kind of told me, Jamie and I were talking about it today at the Dugout. He's like, what do you think? And I was like, man, Steve and Daniel are like good people. I mean, you can instantly get it when you meet them. I said, but there's all these guys that feel the same way, of what I saw this weekend of being around them more than, I haven't been around them. I haven't been around Daniel that much. I've been around Steve more. But when you're around people like that and you see people, it's just that integrity, man. It's impressive, and I think it's going to bring big things to this series for Georgia and Tennessee both.
I agree. Tom, congratulations on your big win. Lean back a little bit. Show us that Dugout hoodie. Those are available online right now. Yeah. Fresh in stock. They have the regular camo and the black camo as well. We're going to get these Queen City boys on here and let them spit some jargon at us.
Okay. Appreciate
Tom,
you guys.
Thanks so much, man. Great to meet you.
Congrats, buddy.
Congrats again.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. Let's get these fellas in here real quick. Boom, boom. There they are.
What's going on, boys?
All right. Hey, thanks for waiting, fellas. Patiently waiting there, listening in on the deal. Glad you guys came in tonight. Last week we meant to give the Power Hour a shout out, and we forgot to. So I'm glad we have you on this week to talk about the aftermath of it and what we got coming down the pipe. So I don't know where we want to start. Ryan, you want to start with the Big Bass winner, or you want to start with the recap of the event?
I want to know what the Power Hour is in general. Okay. I sat and watched the damn thing, and I couldn't figure it out. What is it, Vinny? Explain.
So new format in the kayak world. It was a no-limit event featuring a Big Bass hourly payout of $1,000 an hour throughout the day. So we had 8 $1,000 payouts, and then we paid out the top 8 anglers as well with $1,000 on a brand new native watercraft for the overall first place.
Okay. So it was a tournament and a Big Bass. So it wasn't like Sealy's Big Bass or whatever. It was a tournament coupled with a Big Bass competition.
Yes. Gave you plenty of options on how you wanted to go about your day. If you were going to go for one big hook set like Mr. Blaine over here, or you were going to go for numerous spotted bass, or, mediocre size largemouth, catch 20 keepers and go home with $1,000 either way.
Multiple ways to win. So hourly Big Bass with a Major League Fishing style total victory. Pretty much.
Okay. And we were very pleased with the overall event and how it worked out. So.
Okay. Yeah. Good stuff. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go. Blaine caught a freaking giant and took the overall title, right? Let me see if I can find that picture of it. Boom.
I just love that you guys are saying that Blaine's a Queen City member. I'm glad that we gained Blaine this weekend.
All right. Well, he was a member for the weekend.
I didn't call him names, did I? I still think you're a stand-up guy, Blaine.
He's wearing pink sweatpants. I just assumed.
Oh,
He fits
no.
in. I mean, he's
No, now he's got to have on at minimum joggers, if not full-on leggings, to be a Queen City member.
Okay, my bad. Well, look at that giant, man. Tell us what you thought of the event, Blaine, and then tell us about this big one you caught there.
Man, having the multiple routes to go about winning money was super cool because in my head, I ping pong back and forth with, okay, do I want to go catch a bunch of keepers or do I want to go for that big bite? And my wife is from Central Florida and I go there a lot. And man, one thing I've learned there, big bite's pretty fun. So I decided to go down to Santee and, like I said, the event itself, the format is so much fun. I fished a lot of stuff like that in the bass boat world because that's where I come from. But just like I said, having that option was really cool. It was awesome.
So how did this work as far as eligible water? This was this one body of water or was this multiple bodies of water?
So it was actually 16 open bodies of water spanning from the mountains of North Carolina all the way down to Santee in South Carolina. It was every lake that Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing has fished in 2021.
So I thought it was something like that because I remember reading somebody saying it was worth me driving to Santee, and I was like, "How? What?" Well, people are posting pictures like up in the mountains, and then some dude's like, "It's worth me driving to Santee." I was trying to do the math on that, but I wasn't completely sure on what the layout was.
Yep, we opened up plenty of water, and I think it worked out to where we're going to keep that format. We're going to give guys plenty of options as far as type of fish and species, size of fish known for that body of water, and then differences in location spanning a difference of almost 400 miles.
Wow.
It's kind of a hybrid. Then, it's not just a statewide free-for-all, go anywhere you want. It's defined multiple bodies of water. Right?
Yeah. There's always a list of eligible waters.
So, Blaine, tell us, how'd you catch that giant, sonny boy?
Man, flipping and pitching. I'm a grass guy. I like to fish grass, as you can see in the background of that picture. And they had sprayed the whole area that I was going to fish. And if you know anything about fishing grass, if it's dead, it ain't worth fishing. So my stubborn self continued to work my way back in that creek. And in the very back of the creek, there's this one little 5-foot bright green, still alive grass mat over about 4.5 feet of water. And 1.5 ounce tungsten weight, 3/0 flipping hook, and a Strike King Rage Bug. I flipped in there twice without getting bit. The wind had blown me up beside it, and I was literally right up beside it, and I took my rod, and I just leaned over and set it in the mat and dropped it through. Honestly, at that point, I'm just like, I'm up against it, whatever. And I picked up on it, and right when I did, I felt wham! Leaned back into her. The braid started making that, as I call the song of my people. And I pulled that giant out of the mat.
Here we go.
Song of my people.
Yep. I boat flipped her. She hit me in the shins.
You ain't got a net, boy?
I do, but when you're flipping
God.
with that braid, man, it's better to boat flip them. I've lost more fish at the boat doing that, trying to lip them and trying to net them and all that with all that grass and everything and just a small hook. So anyways, I boat flipped her. She hit me in the shins and I fell down, and I kicked her out of the boat when I fell down.
What?
And then
Wait, pause. Did you have a GoPro going or anything?
No.
Hey, listen, I just posted a great video on YouTube. Go watch that shit. We're gonna make you some money, kid.
All right, continue.
It was really awesome. I got her in the boat, and I didn't realize how big she was until I got her in the boat. And I unhooked her. I put her on the board, and her head was kind of over the fence, and I looked down, and it was at 21, and I put the rest of her down, and it was right at 24, and I was like, oh. My gosh. I was like, this is a giant. And so I got a couple pictures, went to submit her. Attorney X kept crashing on me because I didn't have it allowed to get all my photos. And
I'm glad we didn't bring Dwayne on tonight to tell us about the new Attorney X.
Complete user error, all on me. So I call Vinny, and I'm like, Vinny, I don't know what to do, dude. I'm freaking out. And I was like, dude, I got a 24-incher in my hand. He's like, dude, calm down. He's like, just close the app, look at your settings, be a normal person. So I went about it, and I found where the setting was off. I fixed it and submitted her, and within a couple minutes, I saw that she was accepted. Called another angler that I had put in at the ramp near me, and I'm like, dude, I know you're paddling too. By the way, paddle in my hand, no pedal drive.
I would quit fishing. I'd quit fishing tomorrow.
You gotta come get pictures of me, dude. I just caught a giant, and he came and got all my pictures. But dude, I mean, an absolute tank, tank.
On the second time you got him in the boat, did you boat flip it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just boom,
Hey,
back
bro,
and forth.
That stuff ain't breaking.
Yeah,
do you want to put any sort of cattle guards or anything on the side of your new canoe?
like bumpers on a bowling alley. That's what we need.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I mean, me falling, like I said, she hit me right below the knees, and I jumped backwards trying to catch her. I mean, if I would have had it on GoPro, man, it would be. I'd be viral. I would.
Oh my goodness!
Once you got her in the second time, did you like talk some smack to her? Like, yeah, you in here now? No. You didn't give her nothing.
Looking at that fish, she was rough, man. She had been through it.
She was rough.
Yeah, she had a big old sore.
She'd been through it.
Oh, dirty girl.
Yeah. I looked on her
from down in Santee, boy. She'd been through it.
Yeah. Well, she had a hole on both sides of her. I think she got shot with an arrow.
Bow fishing, baby. Okay.
Yeah, had a sore on both sides that was healing, and I was like, "Holy crap! This thing got shot and it's still eating."
You done ran up in the back of a creek, found some crippled old sow up there, and won all this money on it.
I did.
She's going back there to die. Blaine's slamming her around the boat.
Let her go. She swam off good.
It's AKA skin melt.
Well, they say when it's your day, right? It takes a little bit of luck to win these things.
Buddy, that's it right there. How many fish did you catch in this tournament?
Man, I ended up catching all right, it depends when you say fish. I caught 4 bowfin, 2 undersized largemouth, 3
Sorry.
and a
Black bass.
pounder.
Black bass. How many black bass did you catch in this tournament?
3, 1 scoreable.
How many legal? How many did I judge?
What?
What was scoreable? What was considered scoreable?
14 inches.
All right.
And man,
okay. So Vinny, here's the question. So Blaine's the winner of the big bass part of this tournament. Is there a winner of the MLF style total inches in this tournament?
So Blaine won his hour, which was the 3rd hour of the event, from 11 to 12. Right, Blaine?
Yep.
I got that right.
No,
from 11 to 12, he wins.
10 to 11.
10
to 11. Oh, yeah, 10 to 11. Second hour. And he also wins the overall big bass. So his hour was worth $1,000, and his overall was worth a Native Propel Slayer Max 12. So he goes home with, $4,000 cash and prizes. And then we also paid out the top 8 overall inches. So his 124-incher didn't really do too well in that portion of the event.
That's what I was wondering, is where he was at in the total inches part.
And
way at the bottom.
That was the beauty of the event, though, man. When I went down to Santee, in my mind, I told multiple people when I was going down there, I was like, dude, I'm going for 2 to 3 bites today. I would rather win 2 to 3 hours than win the whole overall, because, I mean, that's just the way I like to fish.
I think, did his phone just fall in Santee? What is it?
I don't know. I just heard him get really far away.
Yeah. What happened, Blaine?
Oh, I'm sorry. You got me now?
Yeah.
My hand was over the mic. But I was going for 2 to 3 bites, man, whenever I went down there. And I ended up getting one of them, but I just...
When you said punching, I figured it was a slow day. Wintertime punching has to be a monotonous bite.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep,
Blaine, you
100%.
wild. I like you, man. We need to have you back on here again. These stories, pure gold.
Where you live at, Blaine?
I am in technically Chapin, South Carolina. I live on Lake Murray, basically. I mean,
okay.
I live in 90% of the little town I'm in is on Lake Murray. I live 4 minutes from the nearest boat ramp, but right near Columbia.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
All right. Well, that's an awesome story. And the reason we wanted to have both of you on, obviously Ryan and I wanted to learn about the event itself, but there's some other news we want to get to.
There
about
might be some other news.
the future of the Power Hour and what's gonna happen here. So, Vinny, drop it on us, man. What you got cooking?
My team and I over at Native Watercraft have been working on this format / this event for a few months now, 3 or 4 months, Zoom meetings till midnight and a lot of texts throughout the days. And we put everything together, and it was somehow decided that Queen City would be the test dummy of this event. So they gave me the rights to pretty much the whole format we'd come up with, the set of rules. And we decided we were going to run this event for the first time ever in winter in the Carolinas. So we ran with it, and Native was watching really close, and my team was watching really close. And come Monday of the event, we have 38 anglers signed up, and all the projected payouts we put out were based on 125 anglers. If you guys follow Queen City, we ended the year averaging 111 anglers a month. I figured when we said we would pay $1,000 an hour, we would hover around that number. But in typical Queen City fashion, nobody signs up early. So it's Monday. There's 38 anglers. My team's getting nervous. It's like, Vin, are we going to be able to pull this off? Is this something we can look forward to in the future? And then slowly they start coming in. And Friday night, midnight, I'm still getting emails. Hey, can I sign up? And we end up with 124. So our projected payout that we made for 125, we ended up keeping it for the 124 anglers. And like I said, this event was a pilot for something that we were hoping to push out in 2022. And once the event ended with 124, everybody was excited. The weigh-in, although virtual through Zoom and Facebook Live, was a huge success. Native and our team decided we're going to go 100% move forward. And we're going to roll out a new national, I don't really want to use the word series, but a new national series next year. And we're going to host 5 of these events across the country next year.
Boom.
With, and there it is, with the same format that you saw here this weekend in the Carolinas. So it's pretty small there on the bottom, but in early April, we're going to have an event in California. I'll let you all run with the comments on California tomorrow, I guess. In late April, we're going to have another one here in the Carolinas. It'll be both Carolinas. In June, we'll have one up in Michigan. In July, we'll have one in Washington State. And then in fall, we'll have one in Pennsylvania. And I'll let you guys just take a guess where that Pennsylvania might be. But we are looking at no limit events, 14-inch limits, 14-inch keepers featuring the Power Hour. And this is all presented by Native Watercraft. And Native is going to give 3 Native Watercraft kayaks out at each event. So we're sticking with the $100 entry fee. And we have projected payouts based on 125 anglers laid out, and I can share that with you all as well. And we're pretty excited about it. And after seeing what happened this weekend, I'm personally very excited about it.
What does so what's the tournament itself like? What was the payout for first place in the overall inches tournament?
$1,000.
Okay, so 1,000 is pretty much the number across the board. Like that's 1,000 per hour, 1,000 to catch the most inches. You have kind of have a choice.
If we hit that 125, that's the goal. He went home with a Native Watercraft Slayer Max 10 and $1,000. He had only 12 keepers. We ended up having a pretty slow day across the Carolinas. It was 78 degrees. I was expecting to judge 1,000 fish. I only judged 195 fish. He had 12 scoreable fish for 181 inches and some change. And he ended up winning by about 50 inches. Second place went home with $750, and he had in the 130s.
That's crazy.
Let me ask you this on the Power Hour, Vinny. Is it 1,000 per hour to the winner? That's it? There's no payout like to a second big bass of the hour. It's just winner take all per hour, right?
So at the moment, yes, it was $1,000 to the biggest fish per hour. It was brought up in some of our recap. I put a little survey out Sunday saying, hey, we had a great event. What would you change? What would you like to see? No wrong answer. And that actually was brought up, the ability to pay out a second big bass, maybe a third big bass per hour. A lot of that comes with support and sponsorship, right? If we can bring in the dollars, then it's easy to add spots to pay out. So we can talk about that as a team moving forward. But here at the moment, it is Power Hour for the biggest bass of the hour.
how's this going to work in other states as far as eligible water goes?
Still to be determined with a few states. I will go ahead. I can speak on my event personally. A few things are still getting worked on in other states as far as permits and as far as venues and things of that nature on the director side of it.
So will any of them be single bodies of water, or will they all be multiple bodies of water?
Put an asterisk next to this, but yes, there should be some single bodies of water as well.
Tentative.
And I'll be honest, I can speak freely. My original plan for 2022 was I was going to do 2 bodies of water. I was going to do the infamous spotted bass Lake Norman and the giant 1 bite per day Santee 24-incher, and give guys an opportunity to fish both. But after the success of what we saw this weekend with anglers visited 15 out of the 16 eligible lakes. So that tells me that they like the multi-lake format. If everybody would have went to Santee, I think we would have had it done single lake. But 15 out of 16 had anglers check in, and money came from numerous lakes. I think it ended up being 5 or 6 different lakes. So I am going to move forward with the multi-lake format. I'm actually going to, my schedule next year for Queen City is 18 different bodies of water. So we're going to use 18 different bodies of water next year. And we're going to span further east into North Carolina, opening up 2 more really, really well-known bodies of water for big fish, Jordan Lake and Falls Reservoir. So you guys probably all know Jordan from MLF and national recognition. So we are venturing over to Jordan as a club next year. Therefore, it will be open for the Power Hour No Limit event as well.
How many kayak anglers roughly are in Washington? Are there 125 in Washington total?
Yes, our director there is feeling pretty good that he can hit the triple digit mark.
What are their local clubs run up there? Do you know?
I could not answer that off the top of my head.
Do they have a local club up there?
They do.
Seriously. Okay.
They do.
I'm not saying that to throw shade either, Vinny. I've
That's
just never, you know what I mean? I've never heard much out of the Northwest.
To me, Washington stuck out as number one. Are there a lot of, I don't know, are there a lot of kayak anglers in the area to support it? And then California, are they going to show up and participate? Like, that's the biggest question mark in the state of California is, will they show up? Pennsylvania, those guys always show up. I'm positive they'll show up for that event. Michigan, I'm sure you'll see guys just tearing up St. Clair for this one.
That one's going to be wild. That one's going to be wild.
I think that one will be good to watch. It's the western stuff that
So-
you're gonna tell us. This will be a great test on a national scale of who shows up for stuff and who doesn't. So California, don't fall on your face in this event again, please.
Maybe
And
the
that's a
multi-water.
conversation that obviously, I see all the stuff that gets spoke about on KBN and the West Coast and this and that.
You didn't even know I was a host on KBN, Vinny. Don't even come out here with that stuff now.
I missed 1 tag in my 7 years of directing.
One tag.
Hey,
You said, "Oh, are you on tonight?" I'm here every night.
Vinny,
I sleep here.
We brought Ryan back just for the show. Just for
Oh,
you.
my
Appreciate it, Jeff.
goodness.
Thanks. Next time, just let me know if he's going to be.
These guys. Oh, okay. Well, if it's a Monday and there's still oxygen, I'm going to be here.
Yeah, he's gonna be. He may not be in that. He may be in Memphis or Georgia somewhere, but he's gonna be on the show.
I may not be in this setting. I will be alive here somewhere.
So one of the things I'd like to add is that the directors of each of these events are directors of their current tournament series and well-known native watercraft pro staffers that have been around for a really long time. So these events are not going to just be put on by somebody who's jumping in the game. We have a pretty strong team that's heavily involved. And as we move forward and those events get created on Tourney X and are promoted through the native website, those directors will be announced as well. Anybody in those regions of the country, you might know who your native rep is. Lunch Money, I'd imagine you can guess.
I don't know anymore, cuz I ain't seen one in a minute around here.
I think it's cool, man. It's creative. It's not just another national series or national set of events dropping. It's outside the box, a little bit different. So, I think it's gonna, fill a new, not a void, but fill a new niche in the sport. So I'm looking forward to see what happens with it. We've got some questions, man. One is, are motors allowed?
This will be a man-powered series in 2022.
Man-powered series. All right. So we got two man-powered series now.
I will say one thing. We have done our absolute best to avoid all national schedules. Obviously, you guys know I work with the Hobie Bass Open Series a little bit here with Queen City. So we're not going to schedule around Hobie. We're not going to schedule around KBF. We're not going to schedule around Bass. We've done our best to spread them out across the nation on different weekends. And if they are on the same weekend, it's, 15, 20 hours away. So we're trying to sneak in and give guys an opportunity to do something different and hopefully have some fun. We will not have a culminating event in 2022. It'll just be 5 standalone events.
James Snyder has heard that you're running an event in California. He wants to know if Blanchard's the tournament director. He's about to go start kicking doors in, son. You done messed up.
Came to his turf.
James cutting throats, boy. Delta times 2.
Not Blanchard.
Be quiet, Billy Bowden. Billy Bowden throwing comments at you, Ryan.
What are the questions we got up here?
Asked about motors. Somebody asked about where the 5 locations are again. Let me throw that graphic back up.
Yeah, you can put the banner back up there.
Cali, Carolinas, Michigan, Washington, and Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Is Washington like a sneaky good place to catch bass, or what's the deal up there? Do you know?
Lincoln.
I don't have much experience I've never been to the West Coast myself, so I
know there's like a legit smallmouth river up in Oregon, but I don't know about Washington. So anyway, yeah, there you go. I was going to ask you about the strategy of these hourly tournaments because, like Blaine, you threw that 24-hour or 24-incher up in your hour, 1 year hour, and the overall, obviously. But how much strategy goes into when you submit your fish? Do you find people holding fish? Will people hold fish? Is there somebody in Blaine's hour that could have won a different one if they would have waited and submitted? How does that work?
So, Blaine, you can talk about your strategy for the day if you want, and then I'll talk about the directing side of that question.
Well, let me tell you something. Blaine didn't have no strategy. He about kicked himself in the water.
Blaine threw the fish back 3 times before he got a picture of it.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, I knew I was going to get crap for that, but I think I got to be honest.
I love it.
If I'm going to be on this page, I know I'm going to get crap for something.
Uh-huh.
But, no, I mean, like I said, with the multiple ways to go about it, I mean, in my head, if I got 3 big bites throughout the day, that was gonna be the place to win the most money. So I knew the way to do that was to flip, and I mean that's just a way I know to catch big fish. And going to Santee, you're a castaway from the fish of a lifetime at any moment. That place is awesome. It really is. It's fishing in the swamp and like holding fish. I'll let Vinny get onto that because I won't answer that for him. But he had the leaderboard off the whole time, so nobody could see anything.
That's okay. Smart. Blaine, are you going to fish the BOS on Santee?
Yeah. Now that I actually have a little extra money for a pivot drive,
boy, just won his entry fee right here.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a pivot drive for my boat so I can fish more of the Queen City stuff this year.
Time out. Whoa! Stop! Please stop. You just won a Slayer Max Propel, correct?
I did, yeah.
And you're going to get a pivot drive?
I am, I know.
Son, come on now.
Can't fix them.
Yeah.
No, bro, listen. I don't know you, but I like you. I like your stories. I like the way you operate. You do not want to get a damn pivot drive. Let me save you some trouble. Paddle that thing, have that as a side boat, put a motor on it, whatever. You do definitely want to use a Propel drive. That's a fact.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm definitely gonna put my butt in it at least once and at least
come back on the show after you do that, and then let me know which one you like better. Okay?
You sound a lot like a certain guy that's right below you,
buddy. Listen, I've been in all of them, and that is not the road you want to go down. So I'm trying to help you.
All right, so hold on. Let's. We put them in a tough spot here. Blaine, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are with Team New Canoe, correct?
I am.
So Blaine is being loyal, and Blaine is doing his job.
Damn, it ain't his fault.
Blaine is representing the sport and his company the way you are supposed to do it. If any new anglers are
lie to him. No,
tell the truth.
Come on now.
We love you, Blaine.
No, man, hey, it's all in good fun. But no, like I said, I'm gonna do my best to fish more Queen City stuff this year and more Hobie stuff because. I mean, I've always stayed kind of out of the pedal drive game. I run a Motor Guide XI3. I fish I run a KBF affiliate club, or help run a KBF affiliate club, and motors are usually my forte. I mean, I even work on them on the side for a living, and but going and dropping it and getting to paddle all day and being able to cash a check, man, it opens your eyes. If you're not willing to drop a motor to go cash a check like that, I mean, there's something wrong with you.
So we mentioned you guys were talking about ROI before we jumped in. This entry fee was $100, and Blaine drove about an hour, and some anglers drove literally 10 minutes to their ramp. To turn 100 into what could have been multiple $1,000 hours is really what makes this event special, in my opinion. So, I love that he turned his 100 into a $3,000 kayak and $1,000 cash. I think that's an amazing ROI for a half a tank of gas.
That's like what Ryan does with his cryptocurrency. Same thing.
Pretty much.
10x.
Boy,
Goes 10x.
I could buy a bottle of vodka with my cryptocurrency. Shit.
Oh yeah, that's amazing, man. Yeah. Any more questions from anybody watching before we wrap things up here in just a minute? What a great show tonight, man. Tom was awesome. Then you guys came on, Blaine with his unbelievable story, and I'm kind of excited to see how this new format goes, Vinny. Well done, man.
Can I give a 2-second shout out to Tourney X real quick?
Oh yeah.
So your question about people holding fish.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
We left the leaderboard completely off for this entire event to really discourage anglers from even thinking about that. I don't want someone to catch a 20 and a half at 11:58, look at the leaderboard and see a 21 and then hold that fish for the next hour. We decided to leave it off completely. Nobody knew a thing until 8 p.m. when we went live on Facebook and Zoom. And Dwayne and I have been in many, many conversations, and we're going to write some programming in Tourney X that we can have the leaderboard active and show your total inches, but have no breakdown of fish. So it won't give any intel as to who has what in what hour. And as far as if they did gamble and try to submit a fish early in an hour or hold it until late in the hour, we did time caught, not time submitted. And I think that was a big thing for people on Santee that had no service, that were concerned, hey, are all my fish going to go into the final hour and give me a chance to not win multiple hours? But we did time captured, and it was awesome to see 8 different anglers win 8 different hours worth of $1,000 money.
Okay, time captured. So the time the picture was taken is what mattered, not when it was uploaded. All right,
yes.
Fair enough. I like that.
I want to ask you a question before we get out of here, Vinny. Obviously you run Queen City, a very big, local, regional, however you want to describe that club. How do you feel about sandbagging, and what are your thoughts on putting in maybe some sort of rule to maybe try to prevent sandbagging at some point? I don't think right now, cell phone signal wise, we're there yet, but apparently Elon Musk has developed a Tesla phone that has service everywhere. So if that were an option, do you think there would be room to implement something like that, where you had a certain amount of time to get your fish submitted?
So I would rather see it kind of the opposite. I would like to see an incentive for getting your fish in early rather than a penalty for not.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but something to make people not sandbag, basically.
If we could get a sponsor to say, hey, if you put your fish, all your fish come in within the 20 minutes you catch it, or first limit submitted wins an extra $100, something like that. First fish of the hour that comes in win X amount of dollars. So incentive-based, yes. I personally, as a competitor, I don't understand sandbagging. I don't understand the people who wait until the leaderboard goes off to submit their fish. That should never affect a competitor's mindset. I'm out there fishing hard for 8 hours, trying to win the tournament every minute of every hour. And that's any event, whether it's a regular Queen City event, a Hobie event. I didn't fish the No Limit event, but I'm never going to be like, oh, well, the leaderboard says this, I should do this. No, you go fish and you try to win. But
I'm either one of two ways. I'm catching them and I want to submit as fast as I can to get in people's heads, or I'm getting my ass kicked and I don't submit until I get my 5th fish. Like, It's one of the two.
I-
Like, if I'm catching them, I want you to know I'm catching them. I want you thinking about me catching them the whole damn time. Every cast you make, I want you to be like, oh, Lambert's on them. That's what I want people thinking. That's why I do those Instagram story updates. Like, oh, man, he's smashing right now. It's a chess game.
Yeah, and I agree with all that. I do understand the people who don't submit a limit of 12s. You know, if it's 8 a.m. and you smoke them on top in the morning and you have 60 inches, you know, I understand not submitting those. But if you're sitting on 20s all day and you wait until 5 p.m., I don't like that as a director. I don't do it as a fisherman. Those are my 2 cents.
Yeah, and you know, there's something to be said. I know on the bass side of things, on the bass boat side of things, like the score tracker, they push those pros to weigh them and upload that thing. And I know that's not official, but they want them to do that because people are watching. And
Of course.
only way we have to watch is Tourney X or iAngler or whatever it is. So if people aren't uploading and nothing's happening on the leaderboard, well, people stop checking it. But when things are hot and heavy, like at the national championship when Guillermo and Cody were going blow for blow back and forth, or last year at the championship or the TOC, whatever, everybody's refreshing that every 5 seconds, and that only works when people upload.
Yep.
And you're watching that kind of stuff. Like you were watching, like in the TOC, like, you know, Ron Champion and Matt Millard, like going back and forth. And then, you know, it was the most beautiful heartbreak I've ever seen. But Marshall just making this freaking massive power move in the last 5 minutes. And the only thing he has to go off of is what's been uploaded throughout the day from those that were participating in the in the tournament, and then just gets blindsided by a Mack truck at awards, which again was a you know, beautiful tragedy to watch happen. But that, you know, that kind of thing, like what if you drop your phone in the water? Like let's say you do have your phone on airplane mode throughout the day, and a fish, you're fishing in your new canoe, and a fish jumps up and just freaking leg sweeps you like the Karate Kid, and your phone goes flying off the side. Then what? Then where are you at? You know, like you just missed out the whole thing.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do a Gene Jensen and just do a nosedive while you're just cruising around the cypress trees.
Also, one of my favorite moments of 2021. Damn, we have to do a top 10 highlights of 2021.
Yeah, we'll definitely. We got that coming. The year is coming to an end soon. We got a lot to cover. So, yeah, good stuff. Anything else, fellas?
I have something else. Blaine, are you drinking a White Claw right now?
No.
Show it.
Yeah.
Blaine? Blaine? You are a Queen City member, aren't you?
Hey,
God dang it, I knew it.
Figure.
I knew it. He's a Charlotte boy if there ever was one.
Ain't no law when you're
He's
drinking
really
the claw,
not.
right?
He's not a Queen City member.
He doesn't move, son. He just switched chairs on that one.
Go ahead and get that pivot drive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're done. We're done.
Oh, no, man.
I just would like to say thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, Vinny. Hey, anytime you want to come back on this podcast, I'll be here, okay?
You'll be, as long as you're here, I'm in.
I will be.
Ryan will always
I
be
will
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe me and AJ can come on in March when we have a really,
Hence the
really big
names. We are co-hosts because we
That's-
both
yeah.
host every week.
But that's by host. Can we be
No.
by host?
Non-binary host. I don't know. What's the name for
Oh, never mind. We just got canceled. We'll see you
Yeah,
guys
sorry.
later.
that? Yeah. All right, boys. That was an awesome show. Anything else you want to throw out there, Blaine or Vinny, before we go? Nothing?
Man, I just wanted to thank Vinny for trying out this new format, man. And it was a really cool event. It really was. It was cool to see it unfold and be at the inaugural event, and take that record from Palmetto State's going to hold the record for the biggest bass ever weighed in a QC tournament right now.
Ooh.
So we're
okay.
going to hold that. I don't know how long it's going to last because there's a
That's a
bunch
big
of
one, man.
hammers in that club, but we're going to hold it while we got it.
I will tell you that I do think it could be broken March 26, 2022. Hobie, Queen City, Santee. I do think it could be broken there. I think that is highly, highly possible. We see a 10-pounder come across the board at that event.
Yeah,
Unless
awesome
I
stuff,
break my
man.
own record,
Awesome stuff. And hey, I picked the winner for the giveaway, and it was Todd Patrick,
No.
Mr. KFL. You're the
Re-give
winner.
it away. Re-give it away.
So Todd,
He's
if you're
sponsored.
watching,
He's sponsored by Rays. He don't need no Revo stuff. Come on.
well,
now.
we'll get him some real glasses. He'll be good to go.
That's crazy. I appreciate everybody participating tonight. Thank you guys for coming on. Blaine, don't sell that Slayer Max. We'll see you guys next week.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all for having me.